Hello everybody and welcome to Recruiting and Retaining a Strong Core series. Today we're going to be going through step by step how to set up accounts and create postings on Handshake, Service Your Alliance, Indeed, LinkedIn, and Idealist. All right, so Handshake is a platform to connect with college students. This is where many college students will go to look for jobs and internships. It's an online platform that all of the universities and colleges in Michigan participate in, which is great. And it does have quite a big following for for students. So it is a great resource to tap into. However, getting an account may be as simple as just signing up, as you can see in the top right-hand corner, but sometimes if your organization is already registered in Handshake as an official organization, then you will have to have yourself approved or to be added as a member of your organization. So after you sign up, it'll ask you, like, are you part of an organization? And you can search for it, and if you are, you'll connect to it, and somebody on your staff will have to approve you. If not, you'll have to add your organization contact information in, which is no big deal. It's fairly simple. But if, say, your organization is already registered and you need to be approved, but the person who approves it is no longer with the organization, or they're on vacation, or what have you, there is a contact information at the bottom of the page that you can go ahead and contact. It says contact Handshake, and they will help and get you approved that way. There's also some great troubleshooting tips, FAQs, and a support center for employers at the bottom. And some of the stuff that they have that you can browse through includes like how to manage and revise company contacts and contacts for Handshake. So definitely something to look into if you are already registered in Handshake. So one more tip before we start on how to get an account. I want to point out that once you do have an account, you can go ahead and find out all of the career fairs, both virtual and in person. If you go onto the left-hand side of the screen in that gray box at the bottom, you can see fairs, and that will give you a great list of fairs happening in any area that you choose. So I always just select Michigan, and it will give me all of the career fairs happening in Michigan, how much it costs, who to contact. So that's another great resource as well. So like I said, if you type in Michigan, you'll get a big list of them. You can see some of them say right in person. You can even check different universities that you may want to be connected to, or whether you want it to be in person or virtual. All right, so once you have an account, you're approved and you're connected to an organization, you can go ahead and post a job. So under the Home tab, this is what will pop up, and you'll just hit Post a Job. Handshake is going to go through an entire list of questions with you about your position that you are posting. They don't necessarily have an AmeriCorps position that you can say, but you can either post it as an internship or an actual job. And I, in the past, had used it as a job, but I put it as temporary or seasonal. But you can select however you want to market that, depending on who you want to try and reach. So it'll go through and it'll ask you the basics of your information, details, preferences, and the schools you want to reach out to. So further down on the basics, it's going to ask if it's a work study, whether it's full-time or part-time. Like I said, I always clicked seasonal or temporary because it's only a one-year term. Then you'll go ahead and put in your description of your program. You can usually just copy and paste right from your position description or from the eGrants position posting. And then you can put how many students you expect to hire, and you can put in the living allowance per year, which is really helpful too, and not per hour, so you don't have to calculate that out. Next, you'll put your job locations. So if you have a statewide program and you want to list all of your statewide locations, you can do that, or you can create a separate job posting for each different type of position in each location. Either one will work. You'll have to click whether you're going to allow remote service, which is a big draw for some candidates, but that's up to your program. And then there's also the question about eligibility for international students. Because they're not U.S. citizens or permanent residents, they won't be able to serve with AmeriCorps, so you'll have to select no. And under are you willing to hire candidates that are temporarily authorized to work for a defined period? No, because likely your organization as an AmeriCorps cannot support them with their required visa that they might be under. And then you can always ask them to submit a resume, cover letter, transcript, or some other document. You can choose whether you want freshmen or people who have already graduated, so whether they're getting their master's or doctorate maybe, and when they were in school, because this is also open to college alums. And then I never click on this because I don't want to narrow it down too much where people aren't seeing my posting, but you can always click, like if you are really focused on education, you want to make sure that you click the education tab. So that's something to think about. And then you'll go ahead and you'll put in your start date of when you want to open the application and the end date when you want to close the application. And you can add schools. I always just type in all of Michigan schools, and then it'll add you to like the 30 schools that are available in Handshake, and you can just say like apply to all. And then you might get a ton of emails saying like this person has approved your position, this person has approved your position. So you'll get an email from every single college or university that lets you post to their Handshake. So make sure that you maybe turn off notifications for that one. And then you can go in on the left hand, or you can preview it right here, and it'll show you what you have selected, and then you'll decide whether you want to go back and edit or whether you. All right, next is Service Year Alliance. This is a great resource, especially for AmeriCorps members, because the people on this platform are already interested in service. They know what AmeriCorps is, they know what to expect. So I like recruiting here, and I hope that more programs are taking advantage of this, because you can literally post, you don't have to have a subscription, you can post on here for free and communicate with candidates. There is an upgraded service where you can communicate a little bit more in depth, and there's some additional features, but I highly recommend that you go to Service Year Alliance and set up an account. So in order to set up an account, you'll have to enter your organization. You'll need your organization's EIN number, and you'll have to have it approved by Service Year Alliance, which doesn't take very long. I would say a couple of days tops. And then you'll be able to go into your dashboard, and you will be either added as somebody, as like an administrator that maybe somebody in your organization has added you to because you already had an organization in Service Year Alliance, or you have to create your own. But either way, you'll be connected to your organization's dashboard. And then you can go in and you can see your profile, which says information about your different, about your organization and your mission. And then if you go to the left, you can see positions. So first you're going to have to add a position, and you'll have to connect it to your organization. So you'll add the position, which is just an overarching summary. Maybe you already have some positions in there and you just have to edit or update some of the information, but you'll say like math tutor, and you don't necessarily have to put the location in, but you can. And so, like I mentioned, you'll have to enter in basic information on the position details, how many members you're looking for, the title, what type of service location that they'll be in. Will they be outdoors? Will they be indoors? So make sure to specify all of that. And then you'll go, once your position is created, you'll go under listings on the left-hand side. So you can actually create a listing of your position. And then you will add your listing, and you'll have to list maybe like fall math tutor or year-long math tutor. So you'll add a listing title to your position, if that makes sense. And then once you have your position listed with the open and close dates, you can go in and actually search for different core members and say, this person matches some of the qualities that we're looking for. And you can actually go ahead and reach out to them. You can contact them right in Service Year Alliance, or it provides you with their phone number and email address, and you can reach out to them that way. The great thing about Service Year Alliance is it is kind of a one-stop shop. It can be an entire platform if you want it to be. You can message candidates right there. You can keep track of when you contacted them, what was said, who reached out to them. So if you are looking for some sort of a CRM, this may be a good option for you, although your scope will be limited to those candidates who are on the site. But if you're here back at your dashboard, you can go ahead and edit your profile, certify your positions, create your listings, and then find potential matches. If you scroll down to the bottom while you are on your dashboard, you will find the Resource Hub. This is jackpot. This has toolkits, learning management systems, best practices. I highly recommend that you go in there. You encourage that your members go in there. Just check it out. So once you get under the Resource Hub, you will see that you have how-to guides, life after service resources, recruitment tools for you, Service Year 101 for your members. And so there's just a myriad of tutorials, how-tos, and I think it is incredibly an untapped resource that a lot of our programs maybe aren't using. So again, try it out. Under the recruitment resources, there is this really great service year recruitment toolkit, and it gives you step-by-step guides there too. And it gives you how to set up for fairs, how to find career fairs. It tells you service year campus recruitment if you're trying to do it on campus, and strategies to help you develop your practice, or to develop your recruitment plan, to like really start thinking about what are the core things that you need and what are you looking for and how to engage those individuals. So again, a wonderful resource here. Next, we will discuss Indeed. Indeed is a wonderful platform to reach a very broad audience, and you can customize this as much or as little as you would like. Additionally, you can either pay or use just the standard Indeed feature. Indeed might also be your all-in-one system as well. You can reach out to candidates on Indeed. You can ask them to do an interview right there. You can track when you contacted a member, who contacted them, what was said. And again, you'll have a little bit more of a broad audience here, but I do think that this could be a good platform if you were trying to do something maybe statewide or are looking for a very diverse core. So you'll have to go in and you're going to have to create an account for yourself and create an employer account. So you'll have to say like, I am part of Advise Michigan and our company has this many employees, first and last name, all of that information. You'll have to put in the title for the AmeriCorps position. I think it's important that you list AmeriCorps in the title, so those looking for, or maybe a service position, so they know that this is not a job necessarily. One thing to keep in mind is if you select multiple locations, you may have to pay. Like if it's statewide, as you can see at the bottom, it says it's a paid feature. So you can have multiple locations in one city. So maybe you have 5 different positions open in Detroit or Flint. Well, if you have, you're going to have to post all of your statewide positions, unfortunately, separately as separate different position listings. Otherwise, you'll have to pay for it. So something to keep in mind. It could, if you have like 50 positions open, Indeed may take you some time to have to set up separate ones if you are not planning on paying. Next, you'll have to type in the type of openings that you have. I always click temporary, but again, depending on the audience you're trying to reach, you could always put internship. You'll have to put in the schedule for this position and the number of people you're hoping to onboard. And then you'll also have to put in when you need to get them onboarded and registered, because as you know, the background check process can take some time. So please make sure to factor that in when you put in when you need to actually have them through the interview process. They say compensation is key and to list the pay range, but we all know the living allowance is not something that people are jumping at. But I do think it's important that you are honest up front so that it can weed some people out that are maybe only looking for positions that are like $100,000 a year. So you can either put in the hourly rate or the per year rate. And then if you offer any other sort of supplemental benefit, is nice to put in as well. It's really important to put in the benefits. With the AmeriCorps benefits package that you offer, make sure to include all of those things that come through AmeriCorps and maybe through your organization specifically. Finally, you can go ahead and put in a job description, maybe copy and paste right from your position description that you've created. I would put a link in to the AmeriCorps website or to your website that explains a little bit about what AmeriCorps is. And then you can choose whether people can submit a resume or a cover letter and how you want applications delivered to you. Then you can go ahead and review your post, make sure it says everything you want. And then it will ask you if you want to sponsor the job. This is where you will have to decide whether you want to spend money on this and make it more available. It becomes up at the top of the queue when people are searching. And also having a paid version will probably reach a wider range of individuals. What I have learned after speaking with a lot of my programs is that even if they did pay for this upgraded service, it didn't necessarily bring in better or more candidates. So really consider how much you want to be spending and what's in your budget for recruitment if you choose to do the sponsored job option. Next, after you have created it, it'll say pending. You may have to go in after 3 to 5 hours, I think is when they say that it'll be approved. You may have to go back in and hit like activate or make or cancel, or you might have to go in there and click on that pending button to change the status after it's been approved. Next, we are going to discuss LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great tool. It's a professional network. I'm not sure how many students are using this as a method for finding a position, but other populations are using this as a way to find open jobs throughout the state. One resource I would suggest that you check out is the Michigan AmeriCorps Network. A lot of people are posting on this LinkedIn site, and obviously there's over 155 members, which is great, and we're adding to that all the time. So hopefully these members will see it and say, that one looks interesting, or maybe I want to do another service year. So these people are already in AmeriCorps, they know what AmeriCorps is, and it's just providing them additional options if they decide to do another service year. Okay, so in order to post on LinkedIn, you'll have to scroll down a little bit and you'll go to post a free job. You'll have to go ahead and enter the title of the position that you are looking for, and it'll ask you to connect it to one of the organizations that you have listed on your LinkedIn profile. So make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date so that you can have them, any candidates, be connected to that organization. You'll offer the job location, the type of employment, and the type of work, whether it's hybrid, remote, or in person. However, if you need to post this statewide, you will have to create separate postings for each. Again, it's not super helpful if you have a statewide program and you need to post 50 different positions, but it is good if you have just a few select positions or locations that you are searching for candidates in. Next, you'll put in the job details, which again, copy and paste right from your position description. And you can go ahead after this and ask how you want to receive applicants. Do you want to be notified via email? You'll have to put in any kind of screening questions that you might want to put in ahead of time, which is fine if you want to. I use LinkedIn as just a way to get candidates in the door and then go through the whole interview AmeriCorps portal process with them after. But if you want to weed that out right then and there, that's fine too. Here you're going to have to be asked whether you want to promote this and pay like you did on the other services, or whether you want to do a free post. And it'll tell you, like, you'll get an estimated number of applicants based on what you have provided. And you'll have to decide at that point whether you want to promote it or not. I decided I'm going to do a free post. So you can go ahead and improve your job post with any of these. A lot of these are also paid options, but again, something to consider if you're looking for a specific type of candidate. And then I would recommend that you share with your network. You put it out on your LinkedIn, you send it to some of your coworkers, have them share it on their LinkedIn networks. Stuff gets shared a lot on LinkedIn and it can travel quickly. So once you have your position listed, you go in and you can click on the position, and then you can view the applicants up at the top right under that blue kind of oval there. Next, we will discuss Idealist. I don't personally have experience using Idealist, but this has become a very popular option for those looking for jobs in the nonprofit field. So I encourage you to at least look into this. This does cost money though, so if you're looking for only free postings, then this option is not for you. But if you want to go ahead and create a profile or create a listing, you'll go ahead and up at the top right, post a listing. Next, you're going to have to enter your email and your information. And then you'll have to either create an organization or find an organization that may already be listed in Idealist. If you have to create an organization, make sure you have your organization's EIN number. So you start in with, okay, I am working for the MCSC. And then it'll ask you to confirm your email. So make sure you put an email in that you're actually going to use. And then you'll have to enter all of your personal information. And then it'll ask you to go ahead and put in the type of listing that you're looking for. You can put job or internship. It's again up to you. I did job and listed it as temporary. You can use the Idealist applicate tracker, so it kind of does all of the work for you on the back end, so you can track the number of views of your listing, collect resumes, organize candidates in the way that you want. So something to think about. I think it's free, so it's not like an upgraded service. Oh yes, it is free. Next, you'll go ahead and put in all of the information about your position that you are going to want listed. So you can actually have it listed in Spanish or Portuguese too, which is kind of neat. At the very top, it tells you for 30 days, it will cost your organization this much money. And your organization will probably already have some sort of a billing cycle set up, or you'll have to set that up when you create your organization. So if you want to do this as an internship, it is, I want to say it's less expensive than it is for the job listing. Oh, yes. So the cost to post on Idealist is $25 per internship listing, or $105 for the 30 days. So if you're posting it as a job, which you may get more candidates, then you are going to have to pay a little bit more, but that's okay. So I hope that you got some help out of this. There are different audiences on each of the different platforms that we discussed today. So make sure you tailor your message to each. Each has a little bit of a different cost structure. So prioritize what you are looking for in your candidates and go from there. So happy recruitment.